Your driver's
My
license.
wife's gotta have her
So
her
it
driver's
comes up.
license
If you look at
redone
it,
this
it's the
time.
same number, same picture, same everything.
My wife's gotta have her picture done, get that little star.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd just go with her too, and I think I'm gonna ask the state, do they show them my retired police thing, and see if I can go ahead and get mine without having to take a, without having to shoot.
That's like when I went to get the lifetime. Well, of course, Gallatin irritated. You walk in, they're full anyway, so I was standing in line. And it's got this sign that says, please register first. And you got people standing in line to the little lady with the information. So I'm standing there, me and three were behind me, I got 4 people in front of me. 15 minutes later, I get up there, she goes, oh, you need to get a ticket first. Where does it say that at? It says right there, please register first. I was like, I thought it was you, so I stood in line for 15 minutes now for nothing? She goes, well, that's just the rules. I'm like, seriously? They're real snotty. They're just
So
snotty
you need
there.
to get a number that,
Yeah, before you go up there to them.
I've got to get my.
The sign's right there from here to that desk, away from where she is sitting at the information desk saying, please register first. So it gives you the impression you go to her and register.
Yeah.
But you don't. You get a number first and they call you.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was cussing. I was like, I'll come back later. But that's the same DMV that would, my daughter's National Guard would not put on her licensed veteran because she didn't have a DD-214. The only way to list a person to get a DD-214 is if you re-enlist or you discharge.
Guys, I hate to stop your conversation, but we are
Okay, official business.
time to get going at 9:30, so we will begin our meeting, and we have 4 of our 6 people here, so we have a quorum. If you look on the back, I said you can, it's not below it, I'm sorry. You can review the minutes of July the 15th. We got a couple that's not here, but we have a quorum.
Well, you're 5, right?
Pardon?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us.
No, the light's not on,
Oh, okay.
it's quorum.
Okay. He's got those.
Minutes are presented before you. Any corrections, additions, or deletions, et cetera? Commissioner Wallace?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Wallace and second by Commissioner Monitor to approve the minutes. Any other discussion? Not. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any with no votes? None. On the back page, back side of that, I assume that Amy prepared this. Anyway, we have a copy of the things that we're gonna be talking about tonight. And, Mayor, I guess you're gonna be on the presenting live, so you may as well get up here. County buildings and custodial services for $7,500 for, it's called a happy place, and I know what you're gonna tell us. Let's hear it. I know it's good.
Well, this is the, remember back during the budget session, I talked about the janitor had resigned, and we went through the process of getting quotes from 3 other cleaning services. I reached out to 5, 3 provided quotes. This was the cheapest. And when you add in the benefits and everything for the previous custodian, and going with this contracted service saved about $750. So we went to this happy place, and this is just what this is contracted service. Their hours comes out to about $2,500 a month. So over the months, we've gotten to $7,500 spent so far in this fiscal year.
Good. Anytime we save money, that's the place to go.
So $30,000 a year.
Yes, sir.
The next item will be the Artist Next Work Incorporated, which 9306 is projected for 2020. Mayor, you want to expound on that?
Yeah, so this is the IT support that Mayor Carmen, I guess, had done the bidding process or something on, and they went with the Artist Network to provide IT support to the mayor's office and some of the other offices at the administration building. As you see, first quarter from last year, the spend was $9,413, and this so far in first quarter of this year. Yeah, on this one, AT&T, it is statutorily required or required by the state. I know some of them is administrative office of the courts that certain departments have a landline through AT&T, sheriff's department, courts, and whatnot. So we can't completely divorce ourselves from AT&T services. As you can see, last year first quarter spend was $10,059.55. Whereas this year, it's been $5,715.87. So we saved a significant amount of money year
Did
over
they finally
year.
get all our numbers for you?
We're still finding out if some of them, one of them was an issue with the elevator out here. It's supposed to have an emergency communication line. Somehow in the changeover, it got disconnected. It was supposed to stay an AT&T landline, but for some reason it got disconnected. And we've worked to get that back, and we think that's the last one.
So we shouldn't be much more than this figure from now on, right?
That should be, it should carry on like that, but yes, sir. We think there'll be significant savings because they finally got everything reported over.
Well, I know it's been a battle with them, and we've had some big bills from them, and we've been talking about this now for several years. It ain't just started. Elmore's Classic Flooring Incorporated.
This was to do repair to the flooring at the health department. They were starting to have tiles come up, and they were starting to get some complaints, and they were worried about children catching on it or playing in the floor and getting hurt. And so they went ahead and did some work on the flooring. However, we normally make a payment to the State Department of Health. They agreed to let us withhold those payments for 2 quarters to help pay for the flooring. So obviously there's no year over year since this is a non-recurring expenditure, but it was $12,120.61, and that work is completed.
Okay. What about this 6502 over here? Is that, it says contributions.
But that's what the contributions we would pay each quarter to the Department of Health, so we got to withhold 2 quarters of that,
Good.
which paid for the floor.
I thought that's what it meant, but I wanted to be sure. Hartsville Food Land.
These are food for the inmates at the jail. If they come up short on anything at the time, they'll go to Hartsville Food Land to buy certain supplies to stock the jail. As you can see, the spend thus far this year is $5,879.59. You are going to see a rise when it comes to some of the expenditures at the jail, given that we have more inmates currently housed than we had in the past.
That's understandable.
And also, Mr. Chairman, sorry, you'll go on to the next one. So the same line, this institutional wholesale company. This is also food over at the jail. And as you can see, over year, there was an increase. Last year was $10,009.57. This year's $10,973.71, and that is due to having more inmates than we had in the past.
It says too for their commissary, so that's probably stuff that they purchased too.
Some of it they purchased, and some of it is just the jail buying food supplies.
Yeah.
Dr. Carey.
This is also a contracted service between the Sheriff's Department and Dr. Carey to provide medical services to the inmates. And this is just billed at a certain amount every quarter. And as you see so far, it's $28,749.99. However, this is carried over from last year. I believe it was the first year they did this with Dr. Carey, but it was a year-over-year savings between what they were doing before to going with Dr. Carey services. I believed it saved, don't quote me on this, I think it's $15,000 or
Okay.
Is that for a quarter or is that for the entire year?
that's for this first quarter.
First quarter.
So it's that much quarterly.
Yes, sir.
And right at the top of that, if you look, it says first quarter. Kimley Horn and Associates Incorporated, Park.
This is part of the Built Environment Grant to do the master plan at the park. And that entire grant's $20,000, and that is being paid for by the state. So this is grant funds being spent for those services. And that was $5,300 thus far. Of course, we're still going through the planning process. We scheduled a November 12th date for them to come and present their concepts to the public, and also they'll also meet with the stakeholder group, and hopefully that night they'll also meet with the Parks and Recreation Committee to also go over the 3 concepts and get feedback from the public, the steering committee, and the Parks and Recreation Committee.
All right, go on to Local Government Corporation.
This is the software services that I think just about everybody at the administration building uses. This to pay for licenses for software used in the county, in the mayor's office for accounting and other needs. And then it also includes software licenses for the trustee, clerk and master, and circuit court clerks.
And that's every quarter. at $116,000 a year.
Well, I think this is just one time.
So it's a one-shot deal.
Yes, sir, I believe so.
Okay, well, I hope you're right.
I guess that's per year, once a year, or just?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that come due in July and August after the
Yeah.
beginning of the new fiscal year. You pay out, and then you want, it's just one-time expense throughout the year.
Good. Okay, Parman Energy,
This is for the fuel that the county uses, both gasoline and diesel. This is bid out. Usually the only bidders are Parman or Pilot. And so far in this fiscal year, Parman has been the winning bidder every time.
good.
So that you see over year, it is significantly down. It's $82,599.04. First quarter 2019 and first quarter this year, it's $55,788. So been significant savings year over year.
Is
on
it
that.
because the price has dropped? I know it has from this time last year.
Yes, sir. The prices, even though it fluctuates, it is down.
Right, it's
year
down
over
at the
year.
moment. How long it'll stay, we don't know. Very good. Reagan and Smith, Streetscape Project.
This is payment for engineering services. It's also a contracted service with Reagan Smith. They were the engineering firm doing the engineering services for the Streetscape project. That's down because as they've gone through the process, obviously they've gotten to do less engineering now because all the plans and everything have been approved. Now we're moving into the construction phase. So that's why you see a drop year over year. Last year at this quarter it's $31,718.30. This year it's $8,219.30. So, but they will be kind of supervising and doing quality checks on the construction going forward. So that will go back up in the future. But
Yeah.
for this first quarter, since there's not a whole lot for them to do, it was down year over year.
Are they still in line to begin by the 1st of November?
That is still the date I've been told. We're going to have a pre-construction meeting on the 25th, and from what I know, still looking at November 1st start date for construction.
Good. Okay, Rescue One.
This was to replace some extrication equipment. I think there was a Jaws of Life and also a circular saw. These were battery powered, so this was a bid they put out kind of at the end of last fiscal year, beginning of this fiscal year. And this was to buy that equipment. It's $12,745.
We got battery powered there, now that's area.
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
Now, this next one's gonna not be sweet.
Okay.
Smith County Solid Waste.
This is the tipping fees we pay to Smith County to accept our solid waste. As you can see, year over year it is up. It was $44,448.47 last year, and this year it's $47,012.94. And I think that could just be given to. There was an increase last year in the tipping fees, but also we have more residents than we had in the past. So
True.
you have more residents, you have more trash.
That's right. What's ever happened with the implementation of trying to eliminate some of this garbage? I know that we, last time I talked to, what's his name over there, we had to try to come down to a certain percentage. And I haven't
Cliff,
heard any
you
more
talking
about
about
it. Cliff, yeah. Hadn't heard any more about it, if we're gonna try to do that. or-
We're still going to try to do that, but right now a lot of the planning for that is being done in coordination with Greater Nashville Regional Council. They are coming up with a regional solid waste
Okay.
plan. Their idea is to create a regional solid waste authority. That way all the counties can get together and use the volume of recyclables that we would all have together to entice companies that would do the recycling and turn the plastic into pellets or whatnot to get them to come to relocate to Middle Tennessee by just the volume of 13 counties going together.
So they hadn't initially let the plan out yet then?
Right now, the only thing they presented to the executive board was kind of like the bare bones oversight of what they want to do. They're wanting to have, obviously, committee meetings or subcommittee meetings going forward to try to plan out the exact details of it. Like I said, one of the ideas is to create a regional solid waste authority. So they want to go through that. They don't know if it'll be just one total for the entire region or if they're looking at doing two separate ones, maybe for the east side of Nashville, one for the west side. So there's a lot of details to go through that. But the main goal of that process is to increase the recycling done by the counties and also find ways to reuse the trash or anything that is there so that it doesn't go into the landfill. That's the whole goal, is to reduce the amount of waste going into landfills and extend those life of those landfills out.
That'd be good, because right now about the only thing you get any money for is the cardboard.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, are they doing anything else in trying to find a regional landfill? Has you heard anything on that?
Right now, I think Smith County just got their approval to expand their site by, I believe, 40 acres. And right now, they're looking at Middle Point and Murfreesboro. They initially thought it had a life going out to 2025. They have a contract with Nashville to accept their waste that ends in 2021. They now think that Middle Point will be filled by the time that contract ends.
What's Nashville gonna do then?
That's one of the reasons why they're wanting to do the strategic planning and get a lot of these things in place.
But they don't have anything set up for backup at this point?
They have 2 or 3 groups that are working on options going forward. As I said, Smith County just recently expanded theirs, and they have other groups that they may look at the bi-county landfill. So they have other options they're looking at, but
It takes a while to get those things certified to where you can actually begin.
it does, and I don't think TDEC's in the mood that they want to start permitting a lot more landfills. They want to put more emphasis on reducing trash going into landfills through recycling and reuse, just reduction overall of the amount of trash being
I
produced.
understand them reducing, but you still gotta have some landfills for the rest to go in.
Oh, yes, sir. Like I said, Smith County's just permitted to expand 40 acres, but I think if you look at the life that Smith County's had, if you can reduce the amount of trash going in there, it should extend the
Yeah.
life of it going
Have you got
forward.
any projection as to how far those other 40 acres, how long they'll last?
Not to my knowledge, but Smith County's not in the Greater Nashville Regional Council. I would think going forward, to me, to make that plan as viable as possible, Smith County's gonna have to be included in it. Just given that they have, for the east side, they're going to be one of the more viable landfill options.
Okay, let's talk about Triad Environmental Consultants Incorporated.
This is the engineering group that was retained to do the planning and construction oversight at the landfill project. As you say, there was no year-over-year because this is just a one-time project. It's $12,145.01 spent this quarter, and a lot of it was doing the final construction, corrective oversight plan, the construction plan, showing where the drainage ditches and all they're going to do, mapping it out, and then meeting with the potential construction contractors and doing a contract pre-bid meeting. So all of those expenses are included into that, and they will do kind of oversight as that construction project begins.
And they still haven't started.
They've been out there staking it off and doing surveys of it to see where all the drainage ditches and everything's going to go, but they have not broken ground or brought in any more fill as of
Is
yet.
the state gonna have an inspector up there, do you know?
They'll have somebody coming from their field office that's been looking at it, will come out
I
and,
figured they would.
yeah, they'll have to sign off on it.
Yeah, that's
Give a final
what I
approval.
figured. All right, I guess next item will be Tri-County Electric. See,
Yeah.
they're up a little too.
Yes, sir, they're up a little bit, and this is just for all the electricity, all the county buildings and street lights and everything used. You see that is up, it's $52,975.96 last year. Yes, sir.
Did they ever get all their, what's those light bulbs?
LEDs.
LEDs, they ever get them all that on their holes?
I think all the street lights are done, however, we need to start doing those conversions in some of the county buildings to try to get savings there as well. And we have started that process, we've also started replacing them over at the park, moving from the older bulbs to LEDs.
$225,000 a year for electricity, it's a pretty good indicator.
Yes, sir, and unfortunately, a lot of the, a good chunk of that, about $2,700 to $3,000 a month is at the Justice Center.
I can believe it. But how about Tri-County's fiber, how they coming along?
Again, this is a contracted service between the county and Tri-County to provide the internet service to all the county buildings and everything, so this is exactly the same as last year because it's a set amount.
Well, that's the last item we have. Do you have anything else you want to bring up there?
No, I believe this pretty much covers it.
Any member have anything you want to bring up? Commissioner Wallace?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion with Commissioner
Second.
Wallace and second with Commissioner Nyman. Not debatable. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.
I had to say no to the motion.
Well, I'm sorry.
I don't think that happened before.
Hello, sir.
And we don't do it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hello there, Mr. Blair. How you doing, Mr. Blair?
See, Mr. Harper had got his hat.
Thank you.